Even Fox is dropping bombshell anti-Trump news. It is beautiful. Here's what's happening. You got people coming out of the Fox News circles coming in telling you people that basically Donald Trump's in trouble. And the reason he's in trouble is Gavin Newsom. Hi, I'm Darren Rowe. I used to work on Kamala Harris's campaign. As part of the engagement team, tens of thousands of people. I got 30 years marketing branding experience. I used to work for Universal, DreamWorks, MCA. And I'm trying to tell people the psychology behind Trump, but I also understand in this channel, I'm taking you from chaos to clarity. Speaking of clarity, this is sponsored by my Clarity Group. How do you get in the group? Click the link in the description and join immediately because I am dropping major reports in there about the 8 investigations on Trump, about Epstein. I got a part 2 coming for Epstein. I got another big one coming talking about DC and ICE raids this week. And I've also put out a lot of stuff about the election math, not mathing, and how the coconut should have won over the orange. I got to say it carefully because unfortunately social media censors me. So let's go. First of all, this is bad when you got your own conservative media that's supposed to be supporting you saying, whoa, that Gavin Newsom is making it happen. So the bombshell here is that what's happening right now is Gavin Newsom is starting to feel his oats and go crazy with it. Now, I still think, yes, I'm one of those people who still think that Kamala Harris is going to come out, show up, run, and take it out. But, I love the fact that Gavin Newsom, in the meanwhile, is doing the early punches and striking back on Trump. What this does is soften his blow because Trump's not used to somebody clapping back on him and coming back at him and saying, listen, fool, he's trolling Trump over on Truth Social. He's doing all the things you expect him to do. He is. He's showing up like he's supposed to. So I think whether he's running or not, and I'm sure he'll be in that primary, I think he's just filling his oats and starting to go out and go for it, okay? Again, I'm still Team Kamala. I'm ready. I think she's in the wings. In fact, in my Clarity Group, I did a special report talking about Kamala Harris' pathway to presidency. When you join, link in the description, and the link is on the homepage of this channel. Go to the homepage of this channel, boom, you'll see it. Here's the thing I want you to understand. It's important for us to have this messaging out there. And Gavin seems to have gotten the idea. Now, Gavin's not alone. Big shout out to J.B. Pritzker out here in Chicago, Illinois. He's speaking up. I think that really there's 4 core. We got 23 governors, and I keep, let me step back for a minute. Those who don't know, those who say, why is Trump getting away with everything? He's not. For the last 29 weeks, we've had 3 groups fighting him. Let's go first with the judicial branch and lower courts. That's why Trump fought to get national injunctions taken down, because even Trump, Reagan, and Bush appointed judges were striking them down, saying, that's illegal. They rock. The judicial branch rocks. It's just the upper court, Supreme Court, they've been bought and paid off for something. I'm going to do another video talking about, has the Supreme Court been paid off? Because we know something's up, and I'm going to discuss that in detail, okay? I ain't going to put that in my clarity part. I'm going to put it right here, free and open, okay? I don't think they'll hold me back on that one. The second group, we'll see, ACLU, because I get strike, y'all, but we don't want you to say that. Don't upset the Trump. The precious. Anyway, basically, the second group is ACLU and Indivisible. They rock. Shout out to Leah and Ezra over at Indivisible. They are part of the team that even helped save Affordable Care Act in the first term of Trump. Okay, and I always encourage people to go over there and sign up. I'm on their email list. Get on their email list. Look at the plan, because they even have red state and blue state go-to plans that they go to, okay? And ACLU rocks, man. They've been in the courts fighting like ever. But the third group, so we got hundreds of nonprofits starting with ACLU and Indivisible. We got the judicial branch that's in there in the lower courts fighting. And not all of it can go to the Supreme Court. You know, the Supreme Court only sees 1% of the cases. There's too many. They can't go. They can't take them all. So a lot of it has to be decided in lower courts. And not everybody's on our side. There's 677 judges in lower courts across 94 districts across 50 states. But we got a damn good chance of taking these things on, okay? Damn good chance, all right? So here's the other thing. Here's the third group, the 23 governors and attorney generals, including my governor here, J.B. Pritzker, Newsom over in California. We got Hochul over in New York. We have the Witt over in Michigan. I think those are the four strongest to come out and just, the four horse people, come out and just bring apocalypse on GOP. But the person leading that right now with Pritzker kind of behind very carefully is Newsom. Newsom's coming for him. So some of you who are Kamala Harris voters, don't freak out. Like I said, there's a pathway to a presidency still. But Newsom is coming out fighting. And I think it's important we have somebody step up and fight because unfortunately, as far as leadership, here's the major difference between the governors and attorney generals and why I call them the real Democrats versus the Democratic Congress. There's a difference. There's a civil war going on. In fact, I have something in the Clarity Group called 5 different types of civil war, and one of which is the Democratic Party. Notice the finger I'm using. What I'm trying to tell you is that the governors and attorney generals, this ain't new to them. They've been preparing for 2 years for this. And we saw all the press conferences. And when the press conference they did in November and said, we going to fight them, I was like, yeah, right. Okay, whatever. You guys ain't doing nothing. Shh, I was wrong. They came out, bip. Listen, here's what most people, in fact, nobody's telling you but me. Let me just keep it real. I don't say no, most people, nobody on the internet is telling you this. You ready? Do you know that Donald Trump right now is roughly, what's the count again? The Donald Trump right now is, I believe, if I'm saying that right, 18 and 109. What's that? He's won 18 court cases from Supreme Court, appeals court, lower courts in feds, but he's lost 109 of them. Now, let me explain exactly what I'm saying. Let me be very definitive on this. Because you can look up, you can Google, you can search Trump Tracker or Trump Case Tracker, or you can find there's hundreds and hundreds of cases, like 600 cases now out there with the Trump administration battling. Here's the thing. I'm talking about temporary injunctions, permanent injunctions, state injunctions, and national injunctions, as well as actual court cases. Now, let's talk. What I'm saying is the 23 governors and attorney generals are the ones who've been showing up more as leadership. They have sued together, like in February, they sued Doge and Elon to basically say, man, Elon is a problem. And that's when Pam Bondi wrote into an affidavit under her office saying that Elon's not head of Doge. 2 weeks later, you had Donald Trump right there, State of the Union, saying, stand up, Elon, he is the head of Doge. They're in trouble. They're in danger. Here's what else the 23 governors have done. They sued, 14 of them sued to do that, try to take Elon and Doge out. Some of them are sued in 1s and 3s and 4s in different packs. They've been suing. But here's the thing you got to understand, what I just said earlier. Donald Trump is 18 and 109. They've been winning for the last 29 weeks. If I had this mic together, I'd drop it. Seriously, they are the real Democrats. So when Gavin Newsom steps out in front, this was planned. They coming out like, ah! And Newsom is taking this on because he feels leadership needs to be said. Now, some of you are thinking, well, why doesn't Kamala say something? Poor timing. Not the time to do it. Newsom is the perfect person to put this fight, soften up Trump. That doesn't mean he's going to be president. But I will say this. I love what he's doing. And for some reason, if Kamala doesn't run, which I certainly bet, I put money. I put money. I put money that she would win. I put money. Seriously. I'm betting on it. I'm not employed by Kamala Harris campaign. I was a volunteer through the engagement team. Like I tell everybody, I keep it very transparent. And I'm telling you, I think that she's got a darn good shot, but the odds are looking against her because they don't see her doing it. Fine, give me the money. I think it's a setup. It's the book run and some other things I explained in my clarity group. But I want you to understand that right now, Gavin Newsom taking the lead of this party is good with me. It should be good with you. Come on out and fight it out. Come on out and fight it out. I hope he don't have nothing on him, which at this point, I don't think so, because if he has the balls to do this, hey, but let me tell you something. We need somebody out there fighting, don't we? We need somebody standing up for us, don't we? It's about damn time. The problem is, and the major difference between the 23 governors and the 23 attorney generals together, and then Congress over here, is that Congress, Democratic Congress, lacks leadership. Period. It's not the players in there. You got great people in there. AOC, Jasmine Crockett. There's some other people. Ayanna Presley. They got some good people. They do. It's just that the leadership. Hakeem Jeffries. I'll say it because I put it in videos here. You can binge watch my content. In fact, I'll do a follow-up. Say why Chuck Schumer should not be minority leader. Why Hakeem Jeffries should not be minority leader. And they shouldn't. But the problem is the Congress does not have the balls to fight, stand up together against their own leadership and say, you don't need to be here. Minority leadership. No, we got to revote. They should be doing that in both the House and the Senate. But they're not. They're just not there. Meanwhile, the governors got swagger. Politico talked about it. They said when they had that governors meeting in, what was it, Colorado? There was an air about them. There was like, we got this. Yeah. And so I'm glad Gavin Newsom speaking out and dropping bombs on them and trolling them and talking about he might have some files on him related to Epstein. Even if he does or don't matter. The fact that he just does that he claps back. And it's good right now that he is the person doing that. I would love to see Kamala do that. I would love to see minorities and women do that. But right now, I think he's the right person to soften this guy up and tone him down. Because he don't stand up to white men the same way he tries to put down black women, blacks, women, browns, minorities of any kind. He knows damn well Gavin Newsom's a dangerous. He's danger. He's danger. Okay? So the others have stepped back. Oh, big shout out to Shapiro, even though he's been kind of behind the scenes, but I think he's been playing it low key. Shapiro in Pennsylvania is definitely an outspoken person. They got people. They got people who can get on there and got bars, and they can start ripping them. Remember the guy who created Weird, Tim. But I think Tim is going to come in. Tim Walz's going to come in behind Kamala. You notice he's been quiet too. See, I think the quiet governors are planning. Either they're planning to run or be in a primary, or they're supporting Newsom behind the scenes, and they taking turns biting out of Trump's ass. But at the same time, I think also that Tim, out of all the governors, I think he really knows what's going on with Kamala. I think he has a hint of what's going on with Kamala. And I think they're going to make that run again. They're going to come back and they're going to clap back and it's going to be thunderous. But in the meanwhile, if Gavin Newsom for the next year is rumming up this man's ass, let's go. Let's go. Let's go. And JD can't even take him on. So if, Trump, which I think might resign in the next, year or so, I think 365 days, this man may be resigning or less. If he does it by the end of next year, his health is showing. His mind is not growing. And they know it. It's a problem. It's a problem. They could only hold Biden back so long. Yeah, Biden had issues, but at the same time, they can only hold this guy back so long. I think it's going to be thunderous. It's going to be a big problem for them, and we're going to see a major difference, a major change that happens. Because the MAGA and the staff is definitely going to support JD Vance. Those of you who've been asking me that, yes, but he's got a totally different type of vibe. He does not have the charisma nor the strategy experience that Trump does. I do respect Trump's experience for manipulating the narrative. In fact, I teach how to mentally battle it and understand it and see it in my clarity group every Tuesday. It's called Narrative Warfare. In fact, you can listen to all of the replays that I have talking about it. In fact, I got another report coming called Psychotactics that's going to talk about that. It's a psychological game. And I know a lot of you see it because of Epstein, but it's deeper than that. It's deeper than Epstein. But I got a part 2 coming with Epstein Society. Do you know that luxury planes, luxury yachts, and luxury vehicles and other vehicles are being used to transport people? And I say people, not just women, but men and women, girls and boys. The sex trafficking, the money, the guns, and basically the drugs across America and across the world. And there's a whole society of that that's doing that this very nanosecond. Epstein and sex trafficking were like this. Sex trafficking, if sex trafficking were New York, Epstein would be the stamp on a postcard in the sub-basement of the Empire State Building. He's nothing. It's much bigger. I got a first part 1 report that's already out in the Clarity group, breaking it down in the legal gray area and black hat area, in the black market area. And then I got a part 2 coming about the travels this weekend, today, really. So when you join, click the link in the video, or click in the description, or go over to my homepage and click the link there and join this damn group, because it's going to make a difference in you understanding what's going on, and you'll feel 1,000% better.